what you like to do. And I've had clients read that. I've read it myself and they've been like, wait, I don't think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'm kind of good at it since like it's in my zone of competence or my zone of excellence, but it's not really what lights me up. And that's where it's like, okay, we're going to follow that and see, where does this take us? What do you want to do? And do you think you could make that a business? Or do you think that you could add that service and then outsource this stuff so that you can focus on the thing that feels easy?
Welcome to the Business Ownership Podcast, brought to you by Awareness Strategies, helping you navigate the waters between entrepreneurship and ownership. Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedlick, and I'm super glad that you're here with us today because I have my most amazing guest, Emily. Emily, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So give everybody the highlight of who you are and what you do for business.
All right. I am a business opportunity strategist that helps my clients do the work that they're meant to be doing so that they don't waste time doing a whole bunch of other things and get paid for their expertise and actually have time to enjoy their life outside of business.
What? People actually do that? I'm kidding. So when you say business opportunity specialist, are they looking for opportunities? How do you define that? What does that mean?
Yeah. So it's when you're in a point in entrepreneurship where you're feeling like, okay, things are kind of rolling, but I still feel like something is I'm not quite dialed in yet. So helping them identify areas in their business or in the community that they're part of where there are opportunities for strategic partners or new clients or just ways to get closer to the work that they're meant to be doing. Because sometimes, as entrepreneurs, we wear all the hats and we get a little distracted and then are like, what am I even doing? So helping
nobody ever, not including me. Yeah, totally get that. So let's back up the bus a little bit. How did you get into that as your thing?
Yeah. So before I started my business, I was a business development specialist with a business coaching firm. And I did that for 3.5 years and was helping match make our clients with other clients and other people in the community I was meeting, and kind of became that go-to, I need a guy kind of gal. and realized that sometimes, and I have a background in teaching too, so I was always able to see that spark and insight that kids had of like, what are you really good at? Like, let's harness the power of that, because one, it's easier, and two, it just flows better. So applying what I did with business development and with teaching to now doing this, where I'm helping adults see the magic that's within themselves and identify areas that they can just enhance their essence, essentially, is kind of how I got into it.
What? Must have been an awesome teacher. None of my teachers ever did that. I was always like, Michelle, shut up, Michelle. Yeah.
I had a class that I taught family consumer science. So I had every kind of kid in my class. And so it was a mixed bag of learning styles and the way that kids connected with the material. I taught cooking classes, which was really fun because we could adjust and adapt in that way. But it was a way to be able to see, hey, if this doesn't resonate with you, what if I reframe it like this? And then see that like light bulb go off, be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And now it's the same with adults. We just need to be seen
right?
and heard. And then we can create a plan that's going to work for them.
Nice. So why do you think so many people, and it kind of baffles me, but I mean, I did it myself when I was in my 20s, but now that I'm in my 50s, I'm like, how do people not see this? But how do people not see what their special sauce is? Like, do you think are we oblivious to it? Because some people are completely oblivious to the fact that they're really wicked good at some stuff.
Yeah, I think it's just the story that other people have sort of written for them that they've just accepted as their own, and they haven't challenged those narratives. I know that was true for me, that when it took me moving across the country to really like uncover who Emily was outside of, how I grew up. But I think part of it is just like that personal exploration. We're a little bit afraid to tap into like, well, what if I actually leaned into the thing I like to do? And have you ever read The Big Leap?
No.
By Gay Hendricks? Okay, that book is a game changer, and it talks about your zone of genius, and that's really what this is helping you see what you like to do. And I've had clients read that. I've read it myself, and they've been like, wait, I don't think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I'm kind of good at it, since like it's in my zone of competence or my zone of excellence, but it's not really what lights me up. And that's where it's like, okay, we're going to follow that and see, where does this take us? What do you want to do? And do you think you could make that a business? Or do you think that you could add that service and then outsource this stuff so that you can focus on the thing that feels easy? But it is like, I think we're programmed to really believe that success has to be hard.
Right?
And
There's
so
that.
I think we self-sabotage in a lot of ways by not listening to like our intuition and our gut when it's telling us like, no, you're meant for more. And we're like, but how do I do that? So aligning yourself with the people that are seeing that magic in you and like helping pull that out of you so that you don't go back to the safety zone of, well, I'm good at this, so I'm just going to do it for the rest of my life and be kind of happy.
Right. Well, and it's funny too, because I am very good at business strategy. I mean, that's what I do. And I see patterns where other people just don't. Like it it strikes me as monotony. And I
Yeah.
get bored with it. But other people don't see the pattern. So when they're looking for the pattern, they get me. And then I get bored and I go, okay, now pay me money.
Yeah.
It's like, it is so ironic. It's like,
Yeah.
and I know there's a lot of people that they surround themselves with like a certain type of people. So say their parents are into sports and they're into sports. So they don't understand that academia is their highlight and that they're really good at abstract thinking because nobody else values it around them, which seems ironic. And the same thing, if you're surrounded by academics and you're really good at sports, then you don't see or value that thing. Have you noticed that there's any particular ones that are harder to spot, or the individual is more oblivious to it than or you have to really talk them into, no, you're really good at this, it's okay.
A lot of the people that come to me are pretty self-aware. It's more of a fear of showing up in their full self and like afraid of what the people who have been part of their community are going to have to say about it. Like, for example, when I moved to Seattle, I decided to say yes to doing a 52-mile relay. I was not a runner.
Okay,
It
hold
was
on, stop.
insane.
Why would you say yes to that?
Because I was like, why not? Like, sure. So
Awesome.
I was in the car with my sister and my brother-in-law, and they're like, what are you doing? You're not a runner. Like, why would you say yes? I'm like, but what if I was?
Right.
And then I did it, and I still run to this day. But it was
What?
that like push. I needed something big to push me out of my comfort zone to see, what am I really capable of? And what if I tried it and I was actually good at it?
So is
And
it possible that that's actually a lead in, is that if somebody goes, why would you do that? It's probably the thing that you should do.
yeah, because it's the other thing I realize is when people are saying that to you, that's their limit and not yours. And you don't have to accept that limit as your own. Like, I didn't have to accept the limits my mom had for herself for my life, because she said I would never move across the country. But now that I've lived here, she's like, that's really brave of you. I'm really proud that you did that.
Aw, that's so
So
sweet.
it's sometimes just showing up and showing people what's possible. Like, what's possible if you lean into that like gut feeling of, I need to do this just to see. What if it works out?
Right.
And what if it doesn't? Who cares? Like, you're going to learn something regardless. Like, I learned that I don't ever want to do a 52-mile relay again, but I
Fair
like
enough.
running.
That's awesome. So when you're working with people, what does that kind of that process look like? So you said that they're pretty self-aware. So are they just frustrated that they're not getting the results they want? Or do they know that they're being blocked by something? What's
Yeah.
kind of the story they're telling themselves?
It's a frustration that they don't have people just coming to them all the time. Like, they're
I
not
hate it when that happens.
regular leads. And a lot of it is that internal dialogue of like, am I even good at this? Do I know what I'm doing? Like, am I good enough to help them? And outwardly they'll say they are, like, I know what I'm doing, I'm good, but like that internal monologue is affecting their energy essentially and blocking some of those opportunities from coming in, because they're so focused on, I don't have enough leads, I don't have enough this, I don't have enough that, that's the energy they're putting out is desperation.
Right.
And so helping them see, okay, let's talk about all the people that you're working with right now. What are some of the characteristics of them? What did you like? What do you like about working with them? How did you find them, or how did they find you? And then figuring out how to help them like harness their voice and start speaking to the types of people that they want to work with, rather than, I can work with anyone, like come to me. Like that doesn't work. Nobody can hear you if you're talking to everybody.
That's all working. So what about when, if you're not working with anybody, say somebody just, they took a sabbatical, they did something, the market changed, whatever, and they find themselves in a place where they don't have a following, and they're going, well, I'll try this and I'll try that and I'll try this, and hey, anybody listening? Nobody's listening. Okay. Like they're just kind of yelling into the valley, waiting for somebody to respond. And when somebody responds, then they'll, oh, okay, then well, that's clearly the thing that you want. Because it's, how else are they supposed to know what the thing to do is if they're not getting any responses?
Yeah. So I actually am working with somebody doing that right now. So she left her full-time gig and had people coming to her saying, I want to hire you to do this thing. And she's like, but I have so many ideas of what I want to do. And I said, I want you to write all of them down. Like, just take a minute to brain dump everything you want to do. And then we're going to find the themes. And then we're going to figure out like where you can build your foundation of what your business does, so that you can start building strategic partnerships with people who will introduce you to the clients that are going to hire you for those services. And so it's because she was in an academic role, it's really tapping the relationships you already have, and they already know that you're amazing at these things. So now you can just tell them, hey, this is what I'm doing now. And if you need help with this, I'm doing it. So send people my way. So it's the doing the brain dump and then having the conversation and watching them light up when they talk about certain things and being like, that and that and that and none of this other stuff. You can put that in the parking lot. We can do that later. But right now we're focused on the things that are actually exciting to you.
Nice. Love it. So, I want to know, like, why don't people hear themselves get excited about things? Like, why don't they feel that? And it's like, oh, that feels different.
I think part of it is they're too close to it. And so when you're able to talk about it with other people, they're able to see your energy shift or your eyes light up, or just like your posture change when you start talking about it. Because if you're talking about it all the time, that's kind of an indicator that may be the thing you need to be doing. But if you don't realize that that's the thing that you're talking about all the time, and don't have somebody saying like, why don't you follow that? Sometimes it's just you're too close to it and you don't realize like, oh yeah, maybe I should do that.
Nice. So when you work with somebody and they've got kind of this network that they've got to go back and kind of, engage in those conversations, have you noticed that that you get any kickback from that?
Like, yeah, sometimes. But a
me.
lot of the time it's their sort of imposter syndrome coming in as, okay, well, I was working for, a corporation or something. So my reputation was great here, but now I'm on my own and I'm the product, and that's scary. And I don't want to talk about it like that. And so helping them understand that sales is just a conversation. Like, just start talking about what you're passionate about and give people a solution when they present a problem that you solve. and
You make it sound so easy.
I know. And it can be that easy. It's just it's the practice of doing it and showing up kind of without expectation, just in this, like, this is what I'm doing. I'm really excited about it. Hey, that sounds like something I can help you with. Do you want help? And not trying to be like, I'm trying to sell this product, because that feels little for people who have just had money coming to them all the time. You just get a paycheck and you don't have to, you have to work for it, but not in the same way. But so some of the work that I do with my clients is helping them understand how valuable their expertise is. Like, you can't just go pick this up off a shelf or download a book about it. Like, you have the experience and the tools in order to connect the dots in a way that other people can't. So that's valuable. That's special. Talk about it like that. And then people will say, okay, how do I sign up with you? How do I work with you?
Nice.
And the people who are not are ones that you're like, okay, it's cool. I don't need to work with everyone. And understanding that no is actually a good thing, because then you're not chasing people around all the time, trying to convince them. Because when you get into that convincing and like chasing energy, it sucks.
Right. So when somebody's kind of having to be convinced that the thing that they do so naturally is actually valuable, is there kind of anything that they're looking for when they go out into the market and go, okay, so, yeah, I can paint a Rembrandt, but everybody, nobody wants a Rembrandt. How did they recognize the value in what they're offering?
So another thing that I do with my clients is we create a badass list. I got this from one of my first coaches.
Nice.
Where we start to talk about all of the things that they have done well in the past. So maybe it's something that they did in the corporate job that they had, but what were some of the results you got doing that work that was in your zone of genius in that setting? Because a lot of people leave corporate and they think, okay, well, I've only been in business for 6 months, so why would anybody pay me for this? And I'm like, but you've been in this role for 20 years. So you have 20 years of experience. Let's lean on that and say, this is what I did, and this is how it applies to what I'm doing now. And so then it becomes like, okay, I'm not starting over. I'm just changing my title and helping them see that when you start to have conversations with the right strategic partners and the right people, they recognize the value in what you're doing because they've been looking for it.
Love it. And so many people do that, and they dismiss kind of everything that happened up to yesterday. And I made my mind up as of yesterday, therefore I'm starting from yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not really how it works.
Well, and that was one of the first things I did when I went out on my own. Was everybody, when I announced that I was starting my business, every single person who sent me a DM, who sent me a text, or wanted to get on my calendar to talk about what I was doing, I wrote all of their names on a whiteboard. I wasn't going to work with all those people, but seeing it and knowing like, okay, there is something here that people see value in me for something I did in my previous role, and they want to know what I'm doing. And that helped me see like, I have choices now. I don't have to just accept anybody who wants to work with me. I can be selective of who is actually in alignment with the work that I'm doing.
I love it. So in a minute, I'm going to ask you for a Cinderella story of one of your clients. But before we do that, we're going to take a quick break.
Are you running a business over 7 figures but still struggling with technology headaches? Pay attention, you do not want to miss this offer. This podcast episode is brought to you by Awareness Strategies, who is offering a custom-built digital adoption roadmap for anyone running a business over 7 figures who's wanting to grow their business in the next 5 years. And it's not just a roadmap, they offer full implementation as well if that scares the out of you. Check out awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap for more details today. The link's in the show's notes. Don't regret not doing this. Do it now. That's awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap.
Now, I am super excited to hear about a Cinderella story of one of your clients.
All right. So I had a client come to me last year, and she was just frustrated with how she knew she had a great product. She knew she had a great service, but people were saying they were interested, but not actually following through on working with her.
Yep.
And she got to a point where she's like, I feel like I'm beating my head against the wall. I'm doing all the right things. I'm marketing all the things. But what was missing was her voice. And she had been told by lots of other coaches and people around her that you're too aggressive, you're too loud, and you need to, be a little quieter when you're talking about this thing. And I was like, no, we are not doing that. So she ended up leaning into her voice. I told her to take the weekend off. I'm like, you're not going to quit your business. Take the weekend off, go put your feet in the sand. I don't know, do something out in nature, ground yourself again, get off of your computer. And she came back and she said, okay, I'm going to start a live show. And I said, great. So she started 2, and she started getting more of her ideal clients showing up to these live shows that she was doing on LinkedIn. And she ended up getting connected to the leader of a country who was interested in hiring her for her services. And she will be working with an entire country because she leaned in and used her voice. And I said, you're going to have to piss some people off, because in order to make changes and for people to actually put their money where their mouth is, they need to be poked, and they need to hear that what they're doing isn't actually in alignment with what they're saying. So when she was able to lean in, she was able to start being heard by people who actually had the money to pay her for her services. And she's getting opportunities that are far bigger than she had ever expected. And she stopped going after the small opportunities and said, I only work with big people, like big organizations, big communities, because that's how she's going to get paid. And it's changing her life as we speak.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Because there's so many things out there, like being loud and everybody tells you got to quiet it down, being obnoxious and people tell you got to, walk the straight and narrow. You're unprofessional. You're, people that aren't afraid of conflict. Do you know how much money you get for not being afraid of conflict? It's one of the best paid jobs ever. And that in itself is the skill, and you work the other stuff into it. It's mind-boggling to me and awesome to me. So I'm assuming that the peeps listening to this are going to go, oh, you mean that thing that I have that everybody keeps telling me to shut down is actually an asset? Going to have to get a hold of Emily. So I know they're going to want more from you. How did they start that journey with you?
So you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active on there. Emily Bissen, or my website, blueheronbusinesspartners.com. It's another way to get in touch and book a call. But yeah, my goal is just to help people do the work that they're meant to be doing and have time to live a great life outside of it as well.
I love it. We will, of course, have all of Emily's links in the show notes. Go ahead and scroll down, open up a new browser because we're not done yet. So I got to ask you first, how did you come up with Blue Heron? That is awesome.
So it came to me in meditation, actually. I was thinking about, what do I want to call this thing? And an image of a blue heron just came to my mind's eye. And I was like, what is the symbolism of that? And I looked it up, and it said the symbolism of blue herons is that they co-create life together. And that's what I do with my clients. We co-create this success story so that they can live their most authentic life with support of somebody who's going to see the magic inside of them and encourage them to go after it, because life is short and you might as well do what you love, right?
Right. That was awesome. So I get to ask you, at what point in life did you know that you're special kind of crazy enough to think that you could become an entrepreneur?
I think it was actually while I was working with the business coaching firm. Like, I was watching these entrepreneurs do the work that they were excited to do. And I was like, there's something more for me here. I don't know what it is yet. But then when I was getting all of these clients saying, like, I actually want to work with you on this thing. And my bosses were like, no, you're not a coach. You can't do that. I was like, hold on. Hold on.
Do I have ears, lips, and
like, yeah, that's when I knew, like, I have something special here, and it would be a shame to not go after it.
Right. Nice. Well, we're so glad you did. You've been awesome. Any last words for our peeps?
Find the joy in the journey. And if you're doing if your work feels like the job that you left, then we got to tweak it. We got to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to get you back on the path of something that's in alignment with the work you're meant to be doing, because you shouldn't hate the business you created.
Love it. Thank you so much for your time, Emily. I appreciate it. And I know how valuable it is.
Thank you.
Awesome. Peeps, thank you for being here with us today. Be sure to subscribe to the show and share it with your friends. We love helping entrepreneurs grow.
Are you running a business over 7 figures but still struggling with technology headaches? Pay attention, you do not want to miss this offer. This podcast episode is brought to you by Awareness Strategies, who is offering a custom-built digital adoption roadmap for anyone running a business over 7 figures who's wanting to grow their business in the next 5 years. And it's not just a roadmap, they offer full implementation as well if that scares the out of you. Check out awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap for more details today. The link's in the show's notes. Don't regret not doing this. Do it now. That's awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap.